All right, guys, it's Jahlon with the Paradox Gaming Network, and this week for Paradoxical Impressions, I'm bringing you your video game news ending 22 July. We have a lot of stuff to go over this week, and no doubt we're going to start right with the big one with Trion Worlds. Trion Worlds has had significant layoffs. Why do I call it significant? Well, they got rid of 15 positions this week. I really hate fluffy, feel-good press releases from CEOs. Stuff like, and we will be offering each of them severance benefits and job placement assistance. You have to give people severance packages in the state of California. Did a little research. So you're really just saying we're doing everything we have to. This is not related to the performance of the individuals affected, nor of Trion Worlds as a whole. Yeah, I'm gonna dig into something about that in just a little second. But here you go, Trion's letting go 15 people. How big of an impact is that? Well, I have no idea, because if I go to 3 different websites and I look at how big Trion is, one of them I get 236 estimated, one I get 201 to 500 employees, another place I get 501 to 1,000 employees. No idea how big the staff at Trion is. I'm going to guess 15 people is about 5 to 7% of their total staff. Now, a really important thing is, you guys know that I had a bit of a falling out with Trion Worlds. Didn't really like the way they handled Arcade. And I used to be a big Trion Worlds fan. I played Rift, I played Arcade, I played Atlas Reactor, I loved Defiance. The only game I really didn't play was Trove. I even played Develian when they were the publisher or the distributor for North America. So I keep track of what people say. And so Trion Worlds has a horrible rating on Glassdoor. It's a 2.8 out of 5. No aspect of the company hits a 4. Look at those big ones. The senior management is rated at a 2.6. The career opportunities is a 2.3. Only 36% of employees would recommend Trion to a friend, and only 23% have a positive business outlook. That's not too good. I also wanted to go in here and take a look at some stuff. You let people go who actually help versus some who send the wrong answers to the customers. You know, I know that's a true statement. I've proven that in the past. You keep allowing your management friends to run projects into the ground. Absolutely true. Stop promoting and keeping around your incompetent friends. Also true. We've seen the promotion of several inept individuals. I'm going to get to that in just a second. And they treat you like you're disposable in the bottom of the heap. These are my words about the company. These are people who took the time to post this on Glassdoor. So you can go see all of these for yourself. Now, how is this going to affect Arcade? I didn't really go into all the other games. I was never a creator for those other games. But the big one is Celestrata, the associate producer. She's gone. She's no longer there. I really never understood how a company had a producer for a game when you're not the developer. You're just the distributor. You're basically the newspaper boy. You're not the newspaper editor. But it's okay, because Celestrata, it's time for her to have a fresh start. Fresh start, fresh start, fresh start. Good talk. Who I am upset about is Quill, the localization editor. I'm going to say this about Quill. I worked with Quill hands-on numerous times. The guy took time out of his day on busy, busy days. He would still answer my PMs because he knew I was making the Arcade 101 content. I was really, really sad to see him talk about this. Everything he puts in here. And he's on his departing, shot. He gives you some information about the game. Also leaving the Arcade team is the Blue Muzzy, the community manager. He left not with the layoffs. He is actually going to pursue other things. So in 1 week, you really saw 16 people out at Trion. It's kind of a big hit. Let's move on to some other stuff. Ashes of Creation. No new stuff from Ashes of Creation. Steven didn't leak anything this week. No live stream. So I did a video this week on what makes Ashes different. You guys know that if you talk to me about Ashes, you come into my stream, you come into my Discord, I'm going to stop what I'm doing to talk about Ashes. I love talking about this game. So the full video is on my YouTube. Link is in the description below. I'm going to give you the too long, didn't read highlights. There's no preset path for leveling. We, the players, get to create the world. Gathering is of profound importance. Crafting is of extreme importance. Capitalize those. If you guys check out the video, you'll see the quote from Stephen and Y. And big news this week, Meet the Man funding the bravest MMO in development right now. That is Ashes of Creation, without a doubt. Bless Online, server merges. Will this save the game? I don't think so. Server merges are set for 25 July, and this is just going to be a nightmare. This is going to be clown shoes in what we called in the military. This is going to be a goat rope. They're merging servers, as you see on the right. These are the servers that are going to get merged together to new servers. So they're dropping down to 2 North American and 2 European servers. The problem is, what if you have more than 4 characters across these servers? What happens to them? What happens if you have different factions on different servers and now you get merged? This is a total nightmare. What if you have been upgrading your gear and you're at a higher percentage? Is that data going to transfer over? There is a bunch of questions, a whole lot of concerns. I really think this is a cost-saving maneuver for them. I don't think it's going to save the game. It's just going to help them shed some costs. Looking at the bottom corner of the screen, those were your numbers last week for Bless. And here are your numbers just a little bit ago. They have dropped about 500 players off their peak. I will imagine we won't see these numbers go up. Don't be expecting these server mergers to save the game. Let's talk about Fractured from Dynamite Studios. Dynamite wanted to do a single server. They had a very well thought out plan about how they were going to do it. A lot of players had concerns about latency, even if you're using Google, even if you're using Spatial OS. Is there going to be latency? And we all know latency in a PvP-based game kills it. So they decided to do regional servers. You can see the locations on the left. You're also going to see the localization plan on the right. Portuguese, Russian, Polish, Spanish, French, German, and Italian. Works pretty well. South America is going to have its server. You're going to have Spanish, Portuguese, and English. Brazilians, you'll all be happy. You're going to have your South American server. I think this is good. They have actually localized to 90% of their community. That's an improvement over most games than we see anymore. The nice part will be seeing how all that shakes out. Plus, Australia, you're getting a server. I know a lot of Australians stay away from a lot of PvP games because their latency is so bad. Australia is getting taken care of. So I'm glad to see that. Glad to see that Fractured is listening to their players. They also put out a spotlight this week on towns, governors, and politics. I will link that in the description below. There's something for everyone. Lone wolves, social players, people who want to be leaders. I know that their concept art isn't the top shelf of concept art, which is fine, guys. We don't need them to spend hundreds of man hours on concept art. We get the idea. It's an image. It's a graphic. Players are going to have impact on the shape of the world. I'm just giving you a little tidbit right here. Go read the spotlight. I tweet them all out on Twitter. So if you don't want to be bothered, I'm also going to link you my referral code for Fractured. Go and sign up. Even if you don't think you're ever going to play the game, Dynamite Studios and Fractured, they are doing some great things that are just good to know about. So you can say to yourself, why aren't other games doing this? I'm going to be breaking down Feature Spotlight number 7 in a video this week, in a full-fledged video, so you guys can see that. Warlords Awakening, it is launch week. We get the game on the 26th. I have an introductory video already complete. That's up on YouTube. You can see that below. Didn't do it too long, didn't read for that because it's really me digging in the game, my game review. All I can say is I am an ambassador at Warlords Awakening. I am going to be making content for them. And you guys know if I'm still making content after a week and a half on their test server, the game must be worth playing. I've got a couple of things up on the storyboard too. I'm really excited to have a game to work with. As you guys can tell, I'm upbeat, I'm motivated. I'm doing an assassin-specific guide, and I'm doing some do's and don'ts of early gearing. I really screwed up early gearing. I made some gear that used a lot of resources that I instantly changed the gear out. So I'm going to be doing a video on that. The game comes out on the 26th of July. It's $12 for the base game, $25 for a Founders Pack, or $30 for the base game and a Founders Pack. So just so you guys know, the Founders Packs aren't really pay to win. You get a pet, you get a costume. Now, I haven't seen the stats on the pet. I do hope they let the ambassador see that. You get a title. I don't know what stats the title gives. I need to get into that. The group dance emotes, that's just cutesy stuff. Magic appearance change, that's again just cutesy stuff. The recovery flasks, they're not going to give you an advantage in PvP. The stat option, the skill option changes. Those you're going to want. I'm glad they're giving like 50 of them out so that people can play with different builds and work themselves through that. You see on the bottom, there's the pet as it hangs out next to you, and then there's the pet as it becomes your mount. So, like I said, I don't have stats on it, but as soon as I get them, I will put them out on my stream. I put them out a couple of different places. Crowfall, improved frame rate, 5.7 brings changes. They have swapped out Unity's terrain for custom-built meshes from their webpage because I don't necessarily really grasp the concept. They have their own engine, but they're still using Unity's terrain. I don't know if they started building the game in Unity, what they did coming up with their own engine. I don't understand that. I don't want to understand it. It's like techno speak of a dialect I'm not interested in. The too long didn't read version from their webpage, a lot of changes under the hood, and they're going to keep making changes, so it should make the frame rate go up. My only question is what's up with the Unity terrain? I would like somebody at Crowfall to maybe take a half a second to explain, wait, you're doing this on your own engine, but you're using Unity's terrain. What are you doing? It does not compute, man. Just does not compute. Finally, the Culling 2. You guys know last week I talked about the Culling 2, about what a failure it was right out of the box. Xavier Games has canceled it. It is straight gone. It is yanked. They are going to take the original Culling back to day one. If you guys watched last week, I talked about when you don't stay true to your own visions, you're going to fail. So people hated the Culling 2. They said it was basically a PUBG Fortnite ripoff. So refunds are available. So if you were one of like the 250 people who bought the Culling 2, you can go ahead and get a refund on that. And what really impresses me though is that the studio put out an apology, like, we're sorry, we got to somewhere with the game that the players didn't like, and then that put us in a place where we weren't happy where we are with the community. So I really like the fact that they came out and apologized. I will see if I can link that as well in the description below, so you guys can check that out if you want to. Anyway, guys, that is your week in MMO news, the really big stuff that I think is important. If you guys didn't see your game of choice this week, that's because time constraints. There was a lot of BDO news this week. I just didn't include it because it was getting to like a technical level of the game. Since I don't play BDO anymore, I don't really have the full understanding. But, and I haven't really seen the results of those node conquests, those node wars and those conquest nodes yet. So maybe next week I'll talk a little bit more about the BDO stuff. Until then, if you guys want to talk about any topic, go ahead and shoot me an email. Catch me on Discord. Discord is the easiest. I'm on it all day. If I'm awake, my Discord is with me. Twice a week I stream on Wednesdays and Fridays, plus whenever I decide to just jump on the camera. And as always, big thank you to my sponsors. They are the people responsible for me having just a little bit of money to give away. I give away copies of games. I will be giving away a couple of copies of Warlords Awakening after it goes live. Anyway, going to put this in a post-production. You guys have a great week, and I will see you next week for your week in news. Hey, where are you going? You're not done yet. See these videos? This video's up here to watch. You gotta go over here. Hit the chibi. Subscribe to the channel. Check out the webpage. And I'll see you guys on Twitch.